Hello, Gemini. I'm back ahead to date for September. This is going to cover aspects of astrology, as well as energetically what I'm feeling each moon phase is going to pull for you guys. Your work domain, your career, your finances. We're going to have a look at a very broad kind of reading for you guys. Now, for those of you who don't know, I'm Yildiz from Yildiz Readings 5D. I'm a psychic medium as well as a twin flame and a twin flame coach. So if you're wanting to make a booking, you can go to the link below. I've had a few things going on this morning, so it's taken me a little bit longer to get here, but we're going to try and plow through the rest of the videos that are due. And I'm also, if I have time, going to do a video based on this transit coming up for the moon phase. Now, I know the Pisces moon, just really looking at it, and obviously each step of the way through the astrology, it's an education point for me. So the more into the energy of it and the comprehension of it, it's becoming easier to interpret. Obviously, I tune in psychically, but when I feel an energy, I bounce off giggle and I talk to other astrologers and we talk about what collective energy is coming through. Now, you guys, I've named the video, you've got it all going on, because the two areas that you have activated this month is your 10th house with the Pisces moon, and also your 5th house, which is your romance, birth, children, and luck. So the 10th house does cover your career, reputation, fame, or lack of, and other parent. And it's interesting because even if you're looking at the astrology really separately, it is talking about Pisces moon is the 12th house. So providing we can move into trusting our crown, it's our subconscious mind at a collective level with the houses that come up for you, it's going to be easier to adjust. Now, what you do need to understand with the beginning 2 weeks, it can come through quite distorted. It can come through in a sense where you may be feeling unwilling to make a decision because you're seeing both sides of the fence with situations in life. It's also another thing where you're looking at your career. You know, we'll be having Saturn going direct as of the 18th. The shadow aspect of Jupiter will be going officially direct as of the 1st. And Uranus is going retrograde. So again, those things are going to impact the way you feel about the areas in your life that are changing. Now, with the 10th house of your career, reputation, fame, or lack of, you find when we've had the retrogrades, we've had that deep time to reflect on what hasn't been working. Especially with Jupiter, you do tend to find, okay, you know, what you were trying to build, where were there flaws in that plan? Spiritually connected at the moment, we're going to have Uranus retrograde till the 10th of January. It's going to give you some time to reflect on the things that you were moving towards in a spiritual sense. And, you know, the wider group, religion, rebellion, enlightenment, activity, it's connected to tribe and, you know, illicit affairs. So all of those things, the retrograde for Uranus and Taurus is going to help you reflect on, but it will be dependent on what house it's in. I'll quickly try and find the chart. For you guys, the energy falls in your 12th house. So your intuition, there you go. So your subconscious mind. So you're going to go back into your records, so to speak, of what your memories were in those areas of what was nice and what wasn't so, okay? The first main phase with your career sector, and especially with, you know, Saturn going direct in Capricorn, it's asking you to look at your career factor. Now, it is going to take more work. So what you'll find is anything in an assessment stage you've had with the Saturn retrograde, it's time to take accountability and take direct action, or universe then forces our hand. The card you've got is there needs to be a change in this area, okay? You've got the snake in reverse. You are a healer, but something in a sense needs to be healed in your career environment, and you've got it in reverse. So it may be that it needs to be shaken up and changed. Communication is going to be the key. It might be something that you directly hear. At the same time, with your career, if you're feeling that something needs to change, Saturn's really pushing you to understand you do have the power to make that change. The inklings you had during the retrograde are going to give you, within your subconscious mind, what is fitting and what isn't, and what you feel you need to do. Your second energy coming through by the Libra and Moon is going to be quite unique as well, because a lot of what's highlighted this month is definitely career and relationships, but the relationships aren't just in our romance house. They're also with our career sector and the people we're directly networking with. You've got shapeshifter, so somebody might be not showing their true face, and it's interesting that you may get triggered by certain people, especially with your 12th house being activated with the retrograde of Uranus, because you're looking at things, the moon energy is impacting you, and you're looking at something's not looking quite the way it should. Now, there you go, clear out the clutter. So it's what has to go, has to go. It might be a mindset, it may be a belief system, it might, and again, it's falling in your 5th house of romance, birth, children, and luck. So something you need to actually clear your environment. So what I'm hearing is there could be a toxic situation going on. And it doesn't have to be that you need to remove the romantic partner, the idea that you're trying to grow. It can be a little bit more complicated in the first 2 weeks to generate these things. Although we will have Jupiter direct, with the other aspects the planets are making, it's a temporary pause and it can hinder your creativity. But it's only temporary. So try not to get too down on yourself if you're not getting those leaps and bounds forward. Mercury will be making an interesting conversational piece where you're understanding, unfortunately, every person's side of the story. But again, I pulled amethyst for this month, really, in a sense that, and I understand why now, because Pisces is the 12th house, our subconscious mind, crown chakra. So, with that, we need to be trusting in the process in the 5D. What we spiritually want to create, we can alchemize in the 3D. But our egoic experience at the moment is saying, is that even possible? There's both sides to each coin. We can understand everyone's perspective. Maybe we don't want to understand everyone's perspective. In the initial stages, it may be coming through quite, that's a need. This is a requirement you physically have. And that can be very complicated when it's not that the other person's right or wrong. It's just a benchmark of what your need is. So it's trying to then look at that and see if that storyline can directly evolve so that each party or individuals or your growth in life can still proceed forward with that theory of a 3D in mind at this point in time, but it is shifting. I'm going to get into the energy of what's coming through with the other things. Now, in your career sector, I feel you guys have a lot of ideas. I feel you want to change things up, but you've had other nagging situations coming up. This can even be feeling like your frequency hasn't given you enough energy to achieve some of these targets. It's perfectly normal in a retrograde, especially when you're going through an awakening. It is going to start moving forward where you're going to have more energy, where you will not feel as triggered. And as that energy lightens up, know it's a temporary situation so you can start taking direct action. Visualizing abundance in all forms. Now, this card comes up in reverse, so it may not be the main area. And what I'm seeing, and I'm going to pull clarifiers as I go, what I'm seeing is it's not just the dynamic going on. It's, do you have the energy to put that into the project that you're directly working on? Again, with imbalances, with the nodes being in Cancer and Capricorn, a lot of themes that have been coming up is tribe, family, and work, and imbalances in those areas. Old karmic energy really being tied up from August as well, and triggered to be looked at. Now, with the Virgo energy, it's still seeping over into September, whereby you're looking at things, but you're really trying to get them in correct order. So the visualizing abundance for me is almost saying it's not the only thing going on right now for you guys. So as much as you would like to just focus on abundance mindset, you may not be invested in the situation right now enough, or you invested way too much, but you feel spiritually you haven't got something out of it as yet. Other energies also can be influencing you and causing conflict. And as I said, I'm going to pull clarifiers as I go. I don't know why I'm guided to. I think I'll pull chakra cards. Now let's pull a chakra card for the first moon phase. to see how it's going to impact the energy of your career, finances, and things you're working on. How are we all? Are we looking after ourselves? How are all of you in America? It's interesting. You've got, for the first moon phase, it may be you're guided to do something, but you feel something's not going to change, okay? So in your career sector, your reputation, and it's interesting because these cards are all correlating. Now, have a look at this. You've got the snake in reverse, which is about shedding skin, changing, evolving, growing. Jupiter direct the 1st of September. Visualizing abundance in all forms in reverse, okay? Talking stick, communication, but I'm feeling more in a spiritual sense with the Pisces energy. Collectively, it's the 12th house. Choosing amethyst, our crown chakra. I'm hoping you're following me. The chakra card you've got is throat chakra in reverse. What I'm getting is you're testing a situation at the moment. You might see both sides in situations, but some of you may have invested in a career, in a project, in a situation. And this can be physical abundance or emotional abundance. And you're weighing up the pros and cons because you feel you haven't got enough information, but somehow you're exhausted and you feel, do I keep pouring something into this? So it's a temporary pause. You're getting your downloads. Something as yet hasn't evolved. And I did say the first 2 weeks of September would be delay, okay? But not delay that no movement will happen. More delay in a sense that it can be semi-distorted frequency. I'll pull a clarifier on this as I go. So it's making sense as we're shifting. And please feel free to comment of how this directly relates to you if you're a cross-watcher or a Gemini. And we'll continue. Yeah. Seek hidden treasure. You're going into your spiritual sense. You're like, okay, what is the meaning of this? Why is this happening? There's got to be a deeper reason why this is going on right now. Why am I doing the thing that I'm doing right now? Be it in a project, employment, trying to gain movement in a particular direction, your finances, you know, you're weighing up the pros and cons, you're pausing and you're gaining more information. Your next card, you have words of abundance, but it's in reverse. So it's really, to you, it's got to mesh. What you put in, I feel you want to get out, but it's not just the cash component to you. It's a spiritual connection. So I feel you're seeking more spiritual fulfillment in a situation and trying to get that balance back after the fact of the last 3 to 5 months. Clearing debt. Okay, so you're doing what you can to balance old energies. You're also cleaning up old karmic energies. This can be external to you or directly connected. So it could be if you're in a partnership, there is a karmic frequency on your side of the fence or theirs, especially with the first moon phase with other parent activated. So it could be an ex, a karmic, alimony, you know, things to that degree that's being tied up where you're moving and you're gaining momentum, but you're clearing that energy up. Self-care involves removing the heavy burdens of financial and emotional debt from your life. Okay? I'll read the card. You already feel lighter and freer just by facing this topic and making a plan to clear present obligations and avoid future ones as well. And it does make sense with Saturn going direct, any aha epiphany moments you've had. I feel for the first 2 weeks, because it's the first 2 cards, you're getting to a point where you're looking at things and you're like, right, okay, I now can take direct action on what my hunches were, what my gut feeling is. Not communicating, walking, doing the work, putting the work in. Now, by the Libran moon, you have sacral chakra in reverse, okay? So something's tempting you, but you're changing, okay? You may be changing. Are you showing what... How do I put it? Now, there's 2 energies coming through. you may be sacrificing yourself for other people, okay? But some of these, I feel old situations, and it can be from the first moon phase. Your career, the things that you've been working towards, situations coming at you. I'm seeing filing, okay? So it can be paperwork, it can be organizing your home, getting things back in order, getting back into a semi-routine. It was very hard to keep a basic routine, and it was a very basic routine with the retrograde, because too many changes were coming. They felt like there were a lot of blocks. As we move forward, it's that catch-up factor that you're physically going to go through. It doesn't have to mean that you're in debt. It could be feeling quite taxed spiritually. But you're tempted on something. But again, shapeshifter can be two things. The moon is definitely going to give you your intuition, but you keep changing. So it's like the message that you're sending out into the ethers and universe. Look at this. Shapeshifter and facing your shadow. It can be fears surrounding situations, that everything's going to stay the same. And words of abundance, your advice is shine your light. So it can be that you see something in a very different way to another person, to a colleague, if this is your business, in the way you want to do things. Potentially you could be getting advice from other people, but you see maybe a flaw in that plan. You need to follow your intuition. But I do feel that you're shifting this energy. Your next card, detox your friendships. Okay, I'm feeling there's karmic energy around you. I'm feeling you're dealing with people maybe that haven't been pulling their weight, maybe have different views to you. You're trying to keep the balance. And look, there can be an environment where you physically can't avoid something to this degree, okay? And this is what I'm feeling, that it's something that has been an ongoing thing. But at the same time, it might be part of your career, so to speak. You could be a counsellor. So somebody's trying to hold you back, but I feel you're going to reach a point where you're going to realise your self-worth, especially with the two cards at the top actually coming through, abundance mindset, words of abundance. Both of them were in reverse, so hide and seek is, I don't think these people know quite who you are. I think they've underestimated you. Bust out of your cocoon. It's like detoxing your friendships. It's almost like you're going to speak up. And it's interesting because the first 2 weeks, potentially you could be in this energy. But if you move through that frequency and actually see what really needs to change, especially if it was prior to the retrograde and your intuition was telling you something needs to change, but it hadn't actually occurred, Mercury being direct means you already had that clarity before Mercury was retrograde. So if this has been something that's been on pause for a while, I feel you're reaching the end of the tether where you're going to shift and change things up. Pay yourself first. You're putting your back into it. You're like, I feel as I keep hearing the word they're taking me for granted, and you're having to make a direct decision about what you're going to do about that. I'm also seeing, I really feel if you're employed by somebody, this is one message. If they're not actually seeing the light of who you are, I think they've seriously mistaken you for someone you're not, okay? And I do feel you getting to a point where you're either networking or word of mouth is coming around, and somebody may actually seek you out. If you're feeling as though this department for you is not working, I really, do what you feel's right. I mean, you've got to always tap into yourself and say, okay, is this sitting with me? Does this relate to me? If it is relating to you and you know full well that a situation needs to change and you're better than that, take direct action, okay? Because Saturn going direct is asking us to do such. But you need to be comfortable with the decision. And it could be something to the degree where you're fearing that maybe there might be a consequence for an action. And that's something that's been coming up quite heavily in the last few days. Attracting, not chasing. You're feeling again, I'm just feeling like you're going through a purge. Now, it's not a nasty purge in a sense that you're in it. It's more a belief system shift that potentially, because of this adversity and something you've been carrying for a while, it's lingered to a point where it was almost like an expectation. And now you're reaching that pivotal point where you're shifting it up a notch, and something hindered you, and I feel this was potentially at the beginning of the year. Now it's doing a 360 and you're reaching that pivotal point. Now, it potentially should have or could have moved around July, but now it's moving in the here and now. Again, with it being purple, and I did say this month, purple activation for the crown chakra. Attracting, not chasing. You might be holding on to something because it's a comfort zone. Anything we're holding on to too dearly, and I don't mean that in a beautiful sense, I mean it more in a fair-based frequency, right? Facing our shadow. What happens is, like attracts like. Hello, Andrew. Welcome back. You've got let go and enjoy. It feels as though you guys, I'm telling you, you're underestimating yourselves. Shine bright like a diamond, okay? Shine your light, because you're better than this. It could just be your opinion or something's hindered you and it's kind of kept you stuck. It's going to shift this month. Something's forcing this energy to shift out of you, because I feel as though the belief energetically is creating karmic blocks to prevent you from moving forward. But once you have that download, once you have that alchemization of that understanding of what's going on, I feel you're breathing it out like it no longer belongs to you, and you're just having this massive shift forward. I'm going to check what moon phase is coming up for you next month, because I swear it's got something to do with that. Okay, what house is going to be activated for you guys? You've got the 11th house and you have the 6th house. The 11th house covers your friends, clubs, associates and aspirations. And what was the other one I said? 6th house. And your 6th house covers work environment, and what have we been talking about? Habit, routine and health, okay? Now, the scorpionic energy next month with the moon. Yeah, you know, the scorpionic energy is really deep. It digs deep, okay? Unless it means something, it means nothing. That's it. It's black and white. Very deep, very spiritual, but at the same time, if you feel something ain't sticking, I feel next month is the key, where physically you guys are going to look at things and say, hey, why is this energy a belief system I'm holding? Is it external or is it internal? Am I absorbing other people's energy? Are other people, places and things affecting me to prevent me from moving forward? I do feel burdens as well that potentially you guys could be carrying that is hindering your growth. So sit back, assess it. We're going to move into the energy of your romance house. If you're wanting me to tune directly into your energy, link is below. And I'll do the astrology for the Pisces moon separately if I've got time. Okay, now you're crowning energy with your romance house. And I'm going to pull a chakra for that. I'm going to pull a chakra for that because you've got your romance house activated. And that is by the Libran moon. But anything that's coming up in the subject matter, both from last month and this month, is still going to be relevant if it hasn't balanced out. Okay, inner child. It's upright, which is positive, okay? Now, the crowning energy of what's going on. What you're needing is a deep, both emotional and grounded energy when it comes to romance, okay? This is a need. This is where you're at. This is the, and I said benchmark before, this is the benchmark, right? Even though that may be a factor, the advice is to keep your energy playful, okay? It's not a job. Although I did say to my daughter the other day, you know, we're never really trained to have relationships. We learn these things through living them, okay? Hi, Vermont, how are you? So, you know, when we get to later stages in life and we have these epiphanies of not expectations, but a need, sometimes we, inner child work is that we fear that if we're not giving, we won't get, okay? And it doesn't work that way. You have alchemized and had an understanding of what you need. It could be for some of you, you give more than you've got, and that's becoming not okay any longer. Something's shifting. At the heart of the matter, be it you're with this person or not, it's connected to the person you're tuning into, but it's also your overall energy of how you're changing and evolving. At the heart of it, you've got the 9 of coins. You're stepping into who you are meant to be, okay? But a lot of the wounds could be connected to childhood, but you're evolving and you're moving out of that frequency. Now, out of the frequency, I'm meaning out of the old energy and into who you were always meant to be. In your headspace, the things you guys, there could be conflict, there could be people that haven't been as fair to you, and in your mind, you're running over it. So although you know what you need out of a relationship, some situations potentially, especially with the Pisces moon, collectively, it's 12th house energy, our psyche, our subconscious mind. And again, I always say when that's activated, you can, not you will, you can, if you have a lot of blockages, have the lower chakras impacted and have ascension flu related symptoms, okay? Conflict is running over in your mind, and it could be a harsh energy you're tuning into. This could be the direct person, or it could be an environment. Even can be the memory that you held with this person. External to that, you're wanting to liberate yourself from a situation. You're wanting to not think about that anymore. You're wanting to get into a better vibration. It may be the past versus the present versus what's moving forward, but you're not wanting that lingering, nagging energy to be there. It's like a lobotomy. That's what I'm hearing. Give me a lobotomy. Let this just shift. Let this just change. It could be you're holding your breath, especially with the throat chakra closed. Not speaking it, knowing something needs to change, be it you're single or not. This is what's coming through. Now, on their side of the fence, this can be currently where your counterpart stands. It can also be a memory, but I'm feeling it's more the future, okay? Okay, in their mind, and again, the energies can shift. This is what they're telling me. Fearing commitment. And I'm going to pull a reason why. I feel as though in their mind they're looking back to, and this can be you or it can be how other people were towards them. Not wanting to connect in, not wanting to open the door, not wanting to open Pandora's box. Again, in a child, okay? This is the crowning energy for your romance house. So being overprotective. What I always say is when we have a break, a hurt, a pain body experience, that pain gets to a point where it can poison us, because when we then go into the time frame lapses in between the connection, you could be going back to that same person or a different person. When you're re-entering, even if you've done the work on the wound, it will then come up again within a connection. So the trigger points in the inner child is potential old energy coming back, and you go, oh no, Houston, we have a problem. Is it going to happen again? Is the same thing going to happen? It's been hard with astrology lately. There's been the ups and downs, lack of movement forward, lack of clarity. Now, this person knows that that can't be like that forever. Okay? They know they can't do it. Because what it is when a person is fearing commitment, they're fearing getting broken, but they're already broken, right? And this is the crazy thing. When we have this light bulb moment, we're like, oh, why didn't I say that? When a person is not open, A, something's going on in their life. B, they have a belief system. C, they're not ready. And it's not that there's no love. It's that There is an experience that has not been resolved, therefore the door is closed. It's not about you, it's about them. Now, this energy is coming to an end, okay? This is in their mind of what needs to happen. Now, external of what they're tuning into. They know that there are a lot of people around them. They may be feeling they're mirroring you in some shape or form. And I feel this energy, if you're in a couple, in their mind, what they're thinking is some belief system of not moving forward needs to shift. Now, if you guys aren't together currently, but you're tuning into this person is actually thinking about you. And they're trying to, how do I put it? Trying to very quickly empty that Pandora box of triggers to be able to have what they actually want, because they do want it. They know they're standing in their own way. External, they are tuning into the fact that the ones that aren't in communication need to communicate, and an egoic experience is going on, because they do not want to communicate the fact that this has been a long-standing issue. It's an old frequency. They're trying to work on their inner child to manage that, because it's getting to the point it's shifting. And with Saturn going direct, it's asking us to take accountability in those areas. In order for growth to occur, the old energy needs to be taken away so that we've got more room. Now, I'm going to pull a clarifier on that, and then we're going to get into each of your heart spaces. Yeah, in order for consistency to return, they know that they can't keep the same pattern going, because it's going to create the same result, and that's not what they're wanting. It's also people around them that are causing that to be a repetitive pattern. So if potentially you guys are together, the external is causing issues and that dynamic needs to be shifted. It can be a work-related dynamic, it could be a pain body experience. Look at their actual zodiac sign and see what's highlighted in their general. That can give you an inkling as to what's going on. Otherwise, I'd need to do a private reading. Now, the anchored in 3D energy. You guys are both being very harsh on yourself. Now, some of you feel the cycle needs to end. It's been going on for a while. You might feel that you've been cursed. Why is this frequency so heavy at the moment? I think it's going to balance out. My throat chakra almost went. It's something you're not talking about. Trust you guys to anchor my energy on. I hope I'm not going to keep going. I've been sick for 2 weeks. I'm going to hurry it up. Your heart space, you feel. Ego, the sun energy, and it is making an aspect this week. You're looking outside of the situation and you feel you've been waiting forever and a day. This will be right. Friggin' throat chakra. It may be you feel you need to say something, okay? So in a way you think they're being stubborn, but in a way you're like, do I invest to get more out? What do I do? There's a pause. You're also not trusting your own heart. You don't want no nasty surprises. You're like, look, unless you can bite the bullet and communicate, I'm not doing the communication. It's a belief that you go through. You're hoping it's going to change. You're looking at them and you're hoping, for those of you who aren't in communication, you're hoping it's going to change. You're like, get your shit together. Come on, let's move. Let's get this show on the road. But you're also paranoid that it's not changing. I have been. I've been doing bloody everything. It's time. It's just time. Lemon and honey, tablets. Oh, That's weird. Okay. Some of you may be dealing with, and I'm just going to say, a Taurus or a Pisces. Some. And that's not that all of you are. Could be rising or Venus. But, and that's because you got, in their heart space, they're up in their head. They're following their intuition. Now, they could be getting spiritually attacked in thought process of you. They could be going to see a psychic. They could be looking at readings and cross-watching about you. But in their heart, they feel you're psychically attacking them, okay? Because they can't get you off of their heart or mind. It's both. It's like they feel they're getting these downloads and heart chakra activation. They also may know that you know them better than they think, and they can't hide it from you. They're also hoping that you don't see this, okay? They're hoping. They're like, oh, they're a bit embarrassed by it. They do feel that you can read their mind. Thought. And they also know that you know they haven't been as consistent as it should be. They're aware that you want them to communicate more. Okay, so if you're in a relationship, it feels as though both of you have been super busy on other things. Yes, when it comes to the relationship, you're tuning into transformations and changes that need happening. But external to them, there's a situation going on that they feel that they invested in that they need to let go of, and it's a previous situation. Once I blow my nose, I'll be okay. I'm going to tie it up and I'll come back. Okay, they're sad about it, but they're going to let it go because they know it has to go. Back again.